I went to the first gaming esports event here in Edinburgh, Scotland, and I want to let you know how it went and if I learnt anything while I was there. So at the end of September, me and my friend Mike, also known as the Drunk Scot, went to Murrayfield Stadium. Murrayfield Stadium is a very big rugby stadium here in Edinburgh. It's hosted things like Oasis and Taylor Swift. And yeah, generally, big deal to be there. When I came across a Facebook ad that said that there was a gaming esports event going to be hosted there, I was interested. So I bought my ticket. I asked Mike if he would want to go and he said yes. So we went together on the Sunday. Now this was a Friday to Sunday event, and thus we went to FaZe 2025. So FaZe is the gaming esports event, and it spanned over 3 days. So there was the Friday, which I think was more kind of esports invitational. I think they maybe had some schools or just some more esportsy people in. But the Saturday and Sunday were open for people to come and play games and speak to some of the people that were there. But there was also speeches from some pretty famous Twitch streamers. And that was really what attracted me more than anything, because I wanted to hear how the Twitch streamers were going to do their speeches or their presentations, I should say, and really just see what kind of tips and tricks they were going to reveal in their talks, and we'll talk about that more shortly. FaZe was promoting a family-friendly 3-day event designed to engage gamers of esports, content creators, students, families, and making it all about kind of Scotland within Murrayfield Stadium. Murrayfield, again, very popular stadium, and to bring esports to that area is a fairly big deal. So with that, they obviously wanted to, there was the learning aspect, there was the learning from the streamers doing their talks, and there was competition because they had literal game tournaments there available, live tournaments as well. But there was also exhibits there for people to talk to, attend, or rather talking to sponsors and the like. So let's talk about the layout of the event, right? So me and Mike rock up at 9 in the morning, very early. And bear in mind, this is on Sundays. This is on the last day. So bear in mind, everything I'm going to say is based on it being the last day of the event. And with it being very early on a Sunday, we rocked up quite early. So I really think I was probably the first person in the building. Mike was running late because there was roadworks. So I managed to get in quite early because I got to drive straight to the venue. So when I'm there, I am very lost. There are no signs or anything. So I walk through the door and there's a security guard there. So I ask him, hey, I'm here for a gaming event. I have no idea where I'm going. So he's like, yes, it's just around the corner. I was like, okay, where do I go? There are no signs. And he literally pointed that way and around. I was like, okay, I guess I'm going that way and around. I shit you not, it was around half of the stadium. There was no signs and it was at the very back of the stadium. Fair enough, maybe that's on me. Maybe I went to the wrong end. Maybe there's another entrance, I don't know. So I end up going up a set of stairs, and it takes you into these kind of VIP suites, as they were, just a general kind of conference center layout, right? So we go upstairs, we go into the room, and there's this desk here. This is the reception. So a person will greet you there and say, this is what's happening today. There are stuff over on this side, and there's stuff over on this side. Go have fun. And I did. The first thing you're going to see is the big FaZe standee that's there, and you can take photos there. I think I got a selfie or something. I'll put that on screen just now. But yeah, there was a really basic selfie wall. You can get pictures taken there, and they encouraged us to use hashtag FaZe25 or something on the social medias so that they could promote us or promote themselves and stuff like that. So going just to the right of this FaZe sign takes you into the kind of exhibition hall, as it were. So this is where all the sponsors are, the tables with people doing stuff, and you can go talk to them, and they'll have goodies and information available for you. So when I go in there, bear in mind, again, very early on Sunday, there's just no one there. There's absolutely no one there. I'm the first person in the building. None of the sponsor people are there. Fair enough. That's on me for being too early, too eager, as it were. Literally, as I walk in, though, I can hear people, the exhibitors, the people who are working there. They're like, are doors open? What time do doors open? Is it even going to be busy this morning? And I'm like, hey, I just walked in here with my ticket. I am the first person here. So they were like, oh shit, doors are open. So they all scattered off to their own little corner of wherever they were supposed to be. And I did hear one of them say that this is going to be a very quiet morning, but a busy afternoon. So I was like, okay, maybe, you know, I would expect it to pick up a little bit in the afternoon. So I'm going around these tables and there are really cool informational pieces. There's sponsorships for schools. There are just lots of things for kids to get involved with esports. And one of the biggest things that they had there was they had a gaming station that was set up with PCs that were running Fortnite, Valorant, and Rocket League, and maybe some other games that I can't remember. But there was also Xboxes that were loaded up with the latest version of FC or FIFA. So when I was told this, I was like, okay, cool. They have the new version of FIFA that isn't out yet. So they must have some kind of cool people on the know. They're able to get these dev kits and that have early versions of FIFA installed on them. That's pretty cool. And then just behind all of this is a little catering area. It's kind of a chilly area, lots of tables, and there was catering where you can get food and stuff, which is very, very cool. The food was actually okay as well. I'll give them credit. I just bought like a sandwich, but I mean, they did actually have like fresh, I think there was like bacon and sausage rolls and stuff, and it was very cool. So kudos for that. At some point while I was going around the tables, Mike rocked in, and the person at reception said in the afternoon session was starting at 1:30, we're not going to kick you out. We're not expecting you to be too busy, so you are more than welcome to stay all day with your single ticket, because the day was split in two. So there was like a morning session and afternoon session, and the chats were the same. There was no difference between them. It was just that they had a morning block and an afternoon block, which I presume was just to ensure that people wouldn't miss any of the kind of workshops or the presentations, which, to be honest, is actually a pretty good idea. I can't judge them, I can't fault them for that. That's actually a pretty good idea. But really the thing that engaged me the most was I wanted to see the workshops that were led by the people in content creation. So there were people who were giving speeches in esports, but there was also a lot of people who were giving really valuable insights into streaming, content creation, and kind of just how to network. So I want to talk a little bit about them just now. The first workshop that we went to was My Dyslexia. Now, again, I have to be honest, I didn't really know who he was, but he seemed like a relatively well-kept, chatty person. I think he was talking to some of the people that were there. I don't know if he knew them just from the weekend and he was just getting to know them a bit better, or what. I don't know if they were just friends or not, but they were having a chat, and this speech ended up starting quite late. Now, this is the first speech of the morning. Literally, doors had just opened, so I can only presume he was just waiting for people to file in and get started, which perfectly reasonable. I don't want to give away the tips and tricks that he gave out, because that's how they make their living, I presume. I don't want to be on here. I'm not a tips and tricks channel. I don't want to be giving away the beans, as it were. I just want to be just kind of telling you my experience at FaZe. I don't specifically know what My Dyslexia's niche is. I think it is more of like kind of Valorant and those kind of like shooter games. And his workshop was very much about how do you get set up as a streamer. And he said a lot of really good advice that you've probably already seen on many channels, like Alpha Gaming or Senpai Gaming, which is very much like you just don't need most of it. You don't all the equipment that you need to get started. You just don't need it. Really, all you need is like a basic webcam, a PC that can kind of or not even a PC nowadays. You can do it through the consoles themselves nowadays. But really, all you need is just a basic webcam, a PC with a capture card or something, and then just a microphone of some kind. And there is usually ways to just stream like that, or even if you've got a gaming headset with microphone, or if you've got AirPods, or just use what you've got. You really don't need to be buying tons and tons of fancy equipment just to get started, because this was a big theme of his workshop, which is you just gotta start. There are so many times that you overplan, you overthink, and you just wonder like, oh, maybe I need this microphone before I start, maybe I need this camera before I start, maybe I need to script my videos, maybe I need to I will speak from experience. When I started this January, I have 2,000 subscribers now. I think I've done some pretty good videos so far. You just gotta start. I've been planning this shit for so long, and you just gotta start. My friend Liam, Docky93, he started because I pressured him into starting to stream because he was sitting in his room playing video games, and I just said, you should go live, you should do it, and he did it. And now he's, I don't know how many years it is later, but he's been streaming for a long time. Overall, my dyslexia, really nice guy. Didn't really get a chance to speak to him one-to-one. I'm a little bit socially anxious. I felt really awkward going up to him and saying hi, and I know this is literally the whole point of going to the workshop, is to chat with these people and getting to talk to them post-seminar and ask them questions and stuff, but I was too much of a pussy, so I didn't say hi. But regardless, I had a great time. I really enjoyed the workshop, and I think he gave some really good advice, really sound advice as well. The one thing I did actually get from his seminar in particular was he had a really fantastic early I don't want to give it away, but it was reaching out to people to watch the stream, and the way that early days for him, he was reaching out to people to come to the stream is genius. So I may steal that one if that's okay with you, man. The next seminar that I went to was Alex Herb. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but he was very American. I didn't actually expect that, but he is an evidence-based curriculum-based mental health research. It was so fascinating. So as a person who struggled in school for kind of behavioral and maybe not attention deficit stuff, but look, I was a shithead in school. That is the easiest way to describe it. And genuinely, one of the things that helped me focus and even helped me reach out to people in school and get to form new friendships and relationships was through a gaming class that my computing teacher made out of the kindness of his heart. He wasn't being paid for it. It was after school. It was eating into his free time. But he saw the potential in these kids, and he knew that with something like video games, they can come together and it'll be a great outlet for them to meet up and maybe just get some of that stress out. Maybe they're just like me, I just need an outlet. So I don't know what Alex specifically does in America, but basically what they do is they do this kind of social and emotional learning instruction. That's what it says on the website. It's SEL education, and there's this whole curriculum for students to get into gaming and how they can form relationships and become, how can people reach out to each other by playing video games, and how can neurodivergent individuals or even LGBT plus youth, how can they discover themselves in a safe space? And gaming is usually the answer to that. And there are so many education boards in America and obviously here in the UK, but even all around the world, they reject gaming altogether. They think it's just a useless hobby. But what Alex wants to do is just embrace video games. Like kids are playing more video games than ever before, and his program and the company that they work for really has the interest of these kids at heart, and genuinely some of the stuff that they were explaining in the speech and the seminar really spoke to me personally as somebody who did struggle in school and found an outlet for gaming. So I think they're doing tremendous work, and I thought it was really interesting. I got to hear a case study essentially about this one kid called Trey and another kid called something, I can't remember his name, but basically Trey was you called him a ghost, almost like a nomad. He comes to school and he has perfect results, like his tests and stuff are totally fine, so there is no real reason to there's no reason to assume that there's anything wrong at home. There's nothing necessarily wrong with him in particular. He just didn't talk to anyone. He wasn't very social, and he basically just came in, did his work and left, and didn't really talk to anyone. And then through the gaming curriculum that Alex and his team were working on in this school, Trey said, I want to sign up for this esports team, essentially, and I want to be part of that. And he kind of came out of his shell. And there was another kid, I can't remember his name, man, but he was like a sports jockey person, and they were playing Valorant or something, and Trey would reach out to this other kid by giving him tips, by saying hey, there's a loot box around the corner, and if you go over here, you'll be behind the spawn point and you can just kill them all. And this kid was like, oh my god, these tips are amazing, Trey, you're the best. And then they ended up like forming a really good relationship through gaming just by that. And these are two people who would never have normally met each other. They would have never normally have kind of interacted because they're just two completely different people in different courses. But through gaming, through this esports thing, they were able to connect. And even several years on, apparently now they are even still friends. So if that doesn't show the power of gaming, I don't know what will. The last seminar that I went to, and the one I was most interested in, was a Scottish streamer from, I think, Glasgow, called Toasty. Now, she has some, she is incredibly viral. She's very popular, and she's a variety streamer on Twitch. And I was really excited for her seminar because not only was she possibly the biggest streamer at this event, she has first-hand experienced a lot of things. So I was really curious to hear her perspective on all of these things. So I like that her seminar can only be described as an ADHD nightmare, and I mean that in an endearing way. It felt very natural. It didn't feel, even though there were slides and she had the cards and she had her points that she wanted to hit, it felt like she was talking normally, like she wasn't putting on a fake voice, and she wasn't like trying to professionalize it in any particular way, which again, it fits her brand, and I think it was way more natural. I think she came across really, really well, and personally I really enjoyed some of the stuff that she was saying, especially when it comes to her seminar was more about the attitude of content creation. It wasn't so much about, it wasn't like how to create it. My dyslexia kind of had that speech earlier in the day, which was you need a computer, you need a camera, you need a microphone. Toasty was more about when you are trying to promote yourself, you want to be creating short form content, and this is kind of what you want to be looking for when creating short form content. This platform is looking for this specific thing, and you want to be doing that on that platform and doing this other thing on the other platform because it will do better. She had some really fantastic information on networking as well, and networking is something I really struggle with because although I am generally a bit of a people person, I am also horrendously anxious about meeting new people. So if you know me, I will talk your ear off endlessly. I will talk, the way I'm talking to this camera is exactly how I talk to my friends, which is probably also an ADHD nightmare. But if I'm in a room with somebody I don't know, I really struggle to say hi. I really struggle to reach out to that person. And sometimes I've got it. If I put on my big boy pants and I take a deep breath and I just go, right, I'm going to say hi to this person, and I go up, it generally goes pretty well. I can hold a conversation that way. But the things that she was saying about networking really resonated with me, about how to network with people and how to reach out. What people are looking for, in terms of content creation, what kind of companies are looking for, what do they, when sponsorships are available and companies want to sponsor you for a video game or whatever, what are they looking for? So I really appreciated her insight, and I think it's really, I personally think it's really valuable. She actually reached out to me on social media. She reached out to me on Instagram because I put up a picture and tagged her. And I got to say to her that I really think this is valuable stuff. So if you somehow see this video, I really mean it. The stuff is so valuable, and I will be taking that forward as I grow here on YouTube because, if you don't listen to you're not my elder. If you don't listen to your elders, then, if you don't listen to those who come before, then what's the point? You have to take their advice because that's how you grow. So after Toasty's seminar, we kind of went out to the main hall, which was kind of over to the left side, and the left side had basically nothing. It was literally just, there was a couple of VR things. There was like VR tennis. There was the new rugby game, whatever that's called. I think it's literally just called Rugby 25 or something. And there was like a live presentation thing. So I think they did like a tournament or something, and literally like it was on stage. There was two people playing the rugby game. There was a shoutcaster, like a microphone, and there was a whole group of them. But it was awkward in this footage because obviously it's an empty room. But don't take the emptiness for face value. I have no doubt it was busy over the weekend. It just happened to be early Sunday morning where just nobody was going. So yeah, unfortunately it was quiet. It was very quiet when we were there, but there's some benefits to maybe that, because if we go there and it's early and it's quiet, then that is a more intimate experience. I did get to speak to some people, and I did get to see some more maybe not one-on-one stuff, but you're more privy to things when it's quiet, because you actually get the time to actually speak, and you're not crowded, and you're not being shooed away, and you're not, all these things. And there was no rush, and especially with the reception staff telling us that we didn't have to leave at 1 o'clock. So it was, although it was very quiet, I really can't complain. And that wraps up our experience at FaZe 2025 overall. I really don't want to shit on it. I want more gaming events like this. If I had to do one slight complaint about it, it felt maybe just slightly unfocused. Now, I only focused on those 3 seminars that I wanted to go to, but they actually had other seminars all weekend. There were people who were exclusively speaking on certain days, and there were people who were speaking exclusively on the afternoon. And even while I was in these seminars with Alex, Toasty, and My Dyslexia, there were other speeches going on as well. There was, when I was sitting with Alex going through the mental health and video games seminar, in the other room behind me, Mike went in to see this F1 racer streamer who races real cars through, I have no idea, it's like a virtual racer, I guess, is what he does for a full-time job, which is very cool, and I've learned some interesting stuff about that one. So overall, even though I'm only focusing on these 3 seminars that I actually went to, there was actually a lot of other stuff going on at the same time. I just don't want to speak on it because I didn't really go to it, so I don't want to give opinions to things that I didn't see or didn't experience. So when I say that it might be a little bit unfocused, I just mean like there's this kind of overall like, this is esports, but then it's also kind of just general gaming, but then there's also these sponsors and exhibitors that are there, but there's not many of them, and then there's also this content creation side of it, so you can actually learn content creation strategies. And I don't know, it felt really weird, especially since the esports thing was the biggest thing they were pushing, and I didn't see a whole ton of esports stuff, but maybe that's just because I was there on Sunday morning. Regardless, I hope it was very successful. I hope it was very successful for them. When we left on the Sunday, around about 1 o'clock, there were definitely people coming in, so I can only assume that they had a much busier afternoon, and I really do hope that over the weekend overall that they had a lot of people coming in and experiencing kind of gaming, getting to speak to these people, learn their stories, and maybe there's some new content creators out there who want to try streaming for their first time, or even if you're watching this now and you want to become a streamer, I promise you need to just start. You are gonna suck for the longest time. There's gonna be problems, but you need to do it. You need to start. You need to learn. You need to grow, and that's just how you start. I'm not perfect. I have never been perfect, and I will never be perfect, but I will get better every day. With that being said, if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing the video. If you're on mobile, if you would like to hype the video, the button should be there to put us into the hype leaderboard and hopefully promote the video just that little bit more. If you are interested in joining the community on Discord or supporting me by other means, you can check the links down in the description as well. And that's it for FaZe 2025. I had a great time. I'm very interested to see if they do any more, and I would like to go to the next one as well. So hopefully they keep doing it so that I can go next time, and I want to hear more seminars about content creation, and hopefully I can have the balls to network with people and actually reach out to people as well. That's going to be us for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye for now.